Good people, beautiful, blessed, wonderful people. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday, and you really did what you had to do this week to get it done. Um, I don't know if you can actually hear me. I'm trying my headphones. We'll wait till Bro to get on and let me know if my volume is good. You can hear me, and then either I'll take them out or I'll keep them in. Either way, it doesn't matter. Brother man,
Brother, what's happening,
can you
brother?
can you hear me good?
Yep,
Okay, because I got headphones in, so I didn't know if you know, if you could hear me or not.
yep. I can hear you.
Oh, well, that's good then. Good business. Good business.
Yes,
Not
sir.
that we don't want everybody around us to hear what's going on in this gracious and beautiful Sunday.
Right,
It's
right, right.
it is a little chilly, so I can understand why you got the hoodie off. It's a
Man,
little
oh man.
chilly, and the wind is kicking ass out here today. So
I see. That's why you got your headphones in, brother.
yeah, I'm trying to get this wind up off me, but it is what it is. I don't have my fan because I don't need it, so we're good.
Definitely don't need it today.
No, 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 no. How you doing, man?
I'm living, Biggie Smalls. How
And
you doing?
managing them business, man. Look, had a scare this week. You know, they changed my medicine, so my blood pressure was kind of high. Uh, it was over 200, 200 over. I think it was 225 over 190, or something like that. So ended up going to the ER on Wednesday, uh, and then Thursday ended up hanging out at the VA pretty much all day. Um, but
And
everything is back. Everything is back good. Yeah, they got me on the right medication. They got me on the right cocktail of medicine. So my blood pressure's back down to 127 over 80. I think it was this morning. So
okay.
I mean, it ain't the best, but it sure as hell wasn't what it was Wednesday. I haven't really eaten since Wednesday, so because my
Yeah,
blood pressure had my appetite so jacked up, I couldn't really put anything in my stomach. So
yeah. Well, your brother needed to know that, bro. So I
yeah,
got
now you know.
fucker. It's not that's not how I'm supposed to find out, motherfucker.
I
But
didn't want to freak.
but
I told the boss. I told the boss lady, um, look, don't need to contact nobody. Don't need to freak nobody out. Everything's all right, and it is. The
it ain't.
God is
Yeah,
in.
I get that, but okay. I got. We'll talk offline because motherfucker.
Not anymore. I used to be. Anyway, let's go ahead
This
and
is why I don't like him.
thank you, Mother Nature. Um, being taken care of very, very generously. Y'all, yeah, I'm in trouble. Yeah, I'm in trouble.
He know.
Um, I know it.
Uh,
But everything
Well,
is good.
good to hear, bro. Glad you all right.
Oh, trust me.
I knew. Well, people just know. I know he all right because he ain't called me. If he called me, it's a stressful situation. He don't want me to
Right,
be stressed out either. So I get it.
right. You know,
But on
everybody.
the other hand, watch your tone and keep your hands on your head.
It was already a stressful weekend. I know you were stressed out yesterday. Um, we text me and bro talk damn near every day. But on Saturday, let's calm all this down. We got some stuff that we got to take care of. And yesterday, both of us were stressed out.
Oh my
It's
God.
just it's just that I'm the only one that by the end of the day I was all right.
I was 1 and
But
1 yesterday.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Florida State didn't let you down.
They
They,
tried to.
they did, they did, but they didn't.
And then my
So
Stros won too, so I'm straight.
okay, well you good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Bum ass Texas. How we lose to Oklahoma before we I'm not gonna all right. Yeah. So
I'll talk to you on probably Monday or Tuesday when the new rankings come out.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should be right where you're supposed to be.
We gonna see how it goes. My thing today, right now, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this whole thing, which is gonna be kind of heavy today. We warned y'all last week.
Yeah, let me go and get my snack.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Warned y'all last week that after all the laughs and jokes and the giggles, we still have a serious show. Um, every once in a while, when it really comes down to it, our main focus, our big thing is mental health, our hugest thing. But let me get this out real quick before we get deep into that. It's getting cold out here, ladies. Respect your man in the wintertime just like you do when it's warm outside because shrinkage is real. Shrinkage is real. I mean, it's a thing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got to say about that. Shrinkage is real. Respect your man now, just like you did when it was warm outside, when the body heat was kind of high and he was just free falling and balling and
Half the blood was running through the end.
you know what I'm saying?
Now, now you only get
Not,
25%. It's a little chilly
not
outside.
maybe 25%. It's a little chilly out here. If he goes outside, he comes back in and you check the temperature and he a little tight, it's cold outside. It's cold outside. It's cold out. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I gotta say about that.
Okay.
No, it's a personal. I mean, it's a thing, but I take it personally. When you look at me different because it's cold outside than when it's warm outside. Don't look at me differently.
Don't do this.
Don't do that. Don't get upset about. Don't. Let's not.
Hey, hey, hey. It's cold outside.
It is. It's chilly. That's why I turn the seat warmer on. So
Oh man.
either way,
Oh, that boy's
either
stupid.
way, either way.
Yeah, bro. I ain't got no rent this week. I don't think. No. No, I'm
You
good.
sure? All
Yeah,
right, okay.
I think I'm good. I think I'll spaz out later.
Maybe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So with that being said, man, we're gonna introduce this special guest of ours.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah,
this brother. I'm gonna let him just come on in.
yeah, yeah. Let
Yeah,
him
he might
introduce
as well just
himself.
let him introduce
Yeah,
himself. Come on
yeah.
in, bro.
Facts. Okay, here we go.
There it
There
is.
he
There it
is.
is.
What's
Yeah.
up, brother?
There you go.
Oh man, it's still a little morning over here, but I see y'all and already y'all halfway through the day. I'm just over here. I'm over here laughing at the the humor, and I appreciate that though. Right.
Yes, sir.
Um, my name is Arjuna O'Neil. The letter R, the month June, and put an A at the end. Arjuna O'Neil.
There you go.
And I just want to say, man, I've been following y'all's podcast, your episodes for a minute, and what I appreciate most to be here as a guest is just the authenticity.
Right.
Sometimes in terms of mental health, I feel like the fluff is
Yeah.
one
Sure.
is a component to
Sure.
mental health that we don't even talk about.
Talk
Right,
about it.
man.
That facade can wear you down.
For
Ooh,
So
yeah.
sure.
just having the authenticity and the humor and the lightness, because like you said, everybody got something going on. I'm over here live streaming right now, and I asked the question, how's your mental well being? And I got
Hmm.
people chiming in right now, like, man, it's heavy, it's hard, it's tight.
Yeah.
So
It's that time.
I will say
That
though, you may see me look down a little bit. I got some notes, so I take
Hey.
notes so we can drop in and.
we 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 on it too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Hey, so before you go a little deeper into your introduction, I just
okay,
want to give you your praises because I know the first
Sure.
time I seen you talk was on a live with Derek Grace.
Okay.
And so that
that's
it was that long ago. Yeah. So when I seen you on there, I was like, oh yeah, I'm following him. And then your messages in the mornings when you get up, saying the motor. And if y'all missed it, y'all go back and watch his daddy daughter series.
Yeah. Thank you.
It'll teach y'all a lot about the parent child connection, especially teenage connection, and how you could get closer to it. Like, so all praises to you, bro. I'm glad I was happy to be able to see that episode.
I appreciate you. And brother, what's your name? I know I've seen your handle, but
Not Douglas. Douglas, Doug. Just don't call me Dougie Fresh, and we good.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, just don't call me Dougie Fresh, and we good.
Yeah. Okay. No, man, I appreciate you. Wow, man, that just let me know. Okay, because even in that, just you never know who watching,
Right.
who building from the back end, and
Absolutely.
that was an interesting time, and it was all about the mental health. But
Yeah.
I also want to say, man, I see you got the Jack and Jen knowledge. When I read that, I was like, okay, I like that. It's different.
Yeah.
Shout out to David Banner. I'm rocking the God.
Hey, I got it in the closet.
The God box. Shout out to the God box.
I seen yours on one of your episodes, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna just throw it in and flex with it today.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. See, we all aligned.
We on the same page.
We all on the same page.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Bro, start it off, man. What you want to dive into?
You know what? I for me, what's coming through right now is just asking a question. It's oftentimes, for me, I'm in LA, I'm on the West Coast, and the homeless, we have the between New York and LA has the largest homeless population.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
You're always seeing somebody on the street, and it's easy to look out the car, you driving and be like, oh, that person got mental health issues, or they're mentally ill.
Right.
And it's so easy to look at somebody else and see them in a certain state, but somehow miss your own way of being and how you're dealing with things. And so I was like, So the question for me is, what is the definition? Like, because I feel like that term mental health is used abroad, but it's subjective. So I did a little research and just looking at the different definitions of mental health, and the most basic that I got was like, well, how do you define mental health? And what I came up with was, it's your general state of well-being and state of mind, something that should be looked after. That's the most condensed without getting too clinical.
Right.
Just your general state of well-being and the state of mind. And I feel like we all, as human beings, I'm gonna speak to the human experience, we all fall subject to that state of well-being and the state of mind.
Yeah. That's true.
And I'm gonna lean in with this one. I feel like there's no human being exempt from survival.
No, for sure.
A lot of times we break this stuff down on what you look like, where you live, where you're from, what's your backstory. But just from a simple fact, every human being it has the wherewithal that each day I'm here to survive. I'm trying to pay my bills, make my money, do the thing. And I feel like survival mode is one of the most, in my opinion, is one of the most taxing life experiences that affects your mental.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, it does.
So can't nobody put us in a box and run and say, oh, well, that's that kind of person or that's them. No, especially with the shift in the economy.
Political, for real.
All these different factors play up on our ability to wake up and make it through the day. So I feel like survival mode. So that's where I'm leaning in at. And I'd love to just hear either one of you brothers just share from that. What is that? What comes through for you when you think about survival mode and how it just plays up?
When it comes down to survival for me, it's shifted for me for sure over the past almost 4 months, because before I was young, I was invincible. There are things that physically and mentally I didn't think about because I can push past and push through. Yeah. Strength and patience is not something that I actually thought about until recently, because I don't know everybody's story. Right. Sometimes I don't even know my own damn story.
Right.
But as long as I have the strength, mentally, physically, emotionally, and the patience in the same aspect to push through whatever it is that I'm going through.
Yeah.
Like as of right now, I've really my life has been turned on its head. I've had to restart and start all over because I had a stroke a few months ago. So I think it was the 21st of June is when my life just kind of started all over. You know, I had to relearn how to do this. I had to relearn how to do that. Walking was an issue. And I'm right-handed, and the stroke affected the right side of my body. Right now, it looks like everything's good, but there's still some things that affected me. And my mental health, if I didn't have the people around me, absolutely 100% for sure,
Right.
um, I probably would be in a deeper place than I am right now
Okay.
because it got to the point to where I'm like, man, I could have swore I just got on top of this thing. I just got on top of this meaning of what people call life and doing things here and there, whatever the case may be. Then all of a sudden it just got ripped from me. And now I'm sitting back in the hospital like I could have swore I just had this all figured out.
Mm.
To the point to where you can have life figured out if you get if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And now I'm sitting back like, damn, I gotta start all over again.
Right.
So my mental health has been really, really pressed these past 4 months. Like I said, if I didn't have everybody around me or the people that I have around me, I'll probably it would be a struggle for sure.
Yeah.
It
Right.
would be a struggle for sure. And Courtney's knows my entire background. If anybody on the planet knows me better than me, it's him. Um, so he knows how I grew up and the things that I had to suffer with and things that I struggle with and everything like that. But now it's just like, praise to the God. The universe has something for me. That's why I'm still here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah.
when it comes down to mental health, it's always been a big thing because I guess you can't say suicide survivor. You can survive the things that you do and bring upon yourself. You survive yourself.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, getting up every day, like there's things that you do that are detrimental to your own health, your own existence. But if you can survive you, there's
Mm.
not too much you can't survive.
That's true.
Whew, that was a bar right there.
Look,
If you can survive you, and that's what we're gonna end up. We're gonna go down that rabbit hole at some point. Because that's I can relate that 100%. I was asking them based on just survival, like getting up every day. What is
yeah,
that? I know what we look like. We know there's a whole. I think you
right.
dropped it in. Put your put your hands on your head and watch your tone. I was able to unpack that. So I don't know how many if that went over anybody's head.
It probably did. Well, in here they kind of know some of the
Yeah,
phrases, but
Yeah,
right.
that one, that was a long time ago. So yeah.
yeah. So I was just asking him, his experience and his perspective on just the survival mindset, just getting up.
Man, so like, oh, it's when you're in a survival mode, survival tactic, you can't see nothing ahead of you or behind you.
Yeah,
So how I always think about it is digging in the trenches. That's all you looking at. You in the trees, you in the trenches. That's all you doing is digging. You never look up to see what you have done or what's about to come to you.
yeah,
So you always when you struggling, that means you always in survival mode.
yeah,
So you always trying to survive. That's all you thinking about doing is surviving to the next day, surviving to the next week, surviving to the next paycheck,
yeah,
surviving to the next month.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because again, life hits you in so many ways that all it's basically doing is testing you,
yeah,
Yeah,
see
sure.
how strong you really are.
yeah,
Because God knows how strong you are. That means He puts on you so much that only you can bear,
yeah.
and other people can't take that amount of pressure.
Mm,
It's when you realize that that's what you're made for, that the test is not as hard.
yeah,
So that
Right.
way you can get out of that survival mode and start thriving.
yeah,
But when you in this survival mode, it's it's one thing to say you're gonna do something. It's another to write it down and look at it every day.
yeah, yeah.
No, for sure. 100.
That helps.
Yeah,
100.
and take a step towards that. It's interesting when you guys both when I was listening to the comment when it's cold out, you know. So, but it made me think about relationships, right?
Yeah.
Even in that, there's that survival mode, right? Like, man, when you got the differences and the misunderstandings and the miscommunication and then the feelings and the emotions, and there's a part of you that feels like, man, is this relationship gonna work? Is this gonna last?
Right.
So like, there's so many layers. There's so many layers to this conversation.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna touch on as many as we can, but man, I appreciate that because for me, survival mode. When I look at my story coming back from the inner city of Detroit, so I can relate to that experience of you, with the health conditions. Being shot at 19, I died. Made the news. So I saw myself on a clip on a gurney. So when you have an experience like that, what do you really like? And you hear now, it's like, well, what do you? It's like, what excuse can you make up? Well, you can still make up excuses.
Right.
What I had to do is catch up psychologically to the awareness, to the experience, and had the conversation with God. Where God told me, like, look, bro, you got work to do, right? Like not only are you just gonna be trying to help people that look like you, but there's people that just don't understand how powerful they really are. Like,
right.
I love this conversation about the mind because it's easy to believe everything we think.
For sure.
But my mind abandoned me when I was laying there, when I realized that, this ain't no shit from the movies. This ain't one of them little flesh movies where you like,
you can't hit the reset button. This ain't no video game.
No, when you get to the end of the catch up and it make that gurgling sound. So the blood is shooting out of me at that rate. I can literally feel life just like the cup just going down. And I'm like, man, my mind said, hey, we out, bro. You on your own. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because there was another part that I got exposed to of my being, which was the heart. My heart started beating harder as I was losing more blood. But then the heart was like, the awareness that I had was like, wait, if your heart's still working while you dying, right? Your heart's still doing the damn thing. It ain't gave up. So what is you doing here? What you doing?
Right.
So I had to check myself like, all right, my mental didn't abandon me.
Right.
But I got something else I could look at. I got something else that I could follow the example. My heart was still beating. So
something you could lean on.
I checked in, and then that's when I started having this conversation with God and it's really, really understanding like the power of your heart. And there's a whole lot of research. I want people if you listen to this, just look into the power of the heart, what it does. And there's still a lot of science that they don't even have about the heart. So what I've come to in terms of just mental health is how can I years ago, I developed this mindset of how do I marry the mind to the heart and train the mind to become the servant of what's really here. Because if we all sit back, everything that really matters to us, our kids, our family. I see you with the young men, I think that's your son, and y'all be hooping and all this stuff. Those are the matters of our heart.
Right.
Because the mind is still going, it's going to keep one thing. Things that we really seek are the matters of our heart.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you come in and just jump in and say, hey, well, I need you to focus on your heart. The average person going to be like, man, what?
They going to say, yeah, you're a weirdo.
Yeah, all of that. But now, the reason why I speak on this so much is because when I did two behind the wall, in that cell, and it was 500 men on my pod, and we would all come out. Everybody had 500 different versions of what a real man was.
Right.
But then about 2 o'clock in the morning, them same gangsters, you hear them crying and booing. So I'm like, man, I said, I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna be the first dude to put myself out there to talk about what I'm really feeling, what I'm experiencing.
Fair.
That shit caught on like wildfire.
Yeah.
The warden heard about it. They actually gave us the church room when the church went in just to talk about it. But it shifted the whole pod to the point where they ain't want me to leave. And I almost was like, well, shit, I found something. I found my groove. Of course, I want to get up out of there too. But
straight up.
And you realize, and not just from people that are, not just men that have been incarcerated or women that have been incarcerated, you realize this is what we do as a society. We've been taught to guard our heart, protect our heart. But really, when you think about it, what I thought about was like, oh, I'm spending all this time protecting and guarding my heart in my mind. But the reality is, am I really guarding it? Am I really protecting it? Because now I'm having all the thoughts.
Yeah.
It's weighing on my mental. I'm having all these thoughts about, oh, I need to protect and guard my heart, but I'm still thinking about it. The feelings are still coming, the emotions are still coming. So the reality is, I ain't really protecting anything.
Right.
No, you're hurting yourself at that point.
So it's like, live from your heart, lead with your heart. And that's the perspective that I was leaning in when it came to mental health. A lot of what we're going through mentally is because we, for whatever reason, our society, just the way it is and what you've been told and who your circle is and who your family is, a lot of us don't speak the matters of our heart. And that's what eats us up at night when you laying there in the bed when it's dark or you in the car in traffic. It's like, damn, you know what's happening. You know you ain't
playing.
Yeah.
Yep. It's replaying and playing in your head over and over and over and over and over. That's all you see.
Yeah, for sure. Because the worst place at the end of the day, the scariest place is to be in your own head.
Yep.
When you by yourself, you don't have a whole bunch of distractions going around and everything going on, and you're sitting in your own thoughts and your own feelings, and you're like, who can I give this to?
Yep.
Knowing that they're not going to take advantage of the gift of my heart that I gave, or the gift of my mind that I gave.
Yep.
As soon as somebody takes advantage of it, you go back into that little hole. And you're thinking to yourself, I don't want to give this to nobody because every time I do, somebody fucks me over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to the point to where being scared of giving your bits and pieces of yourself out, it really just pushes you back and you can't push forward.
Yep. Especially when you ain't got over it from a child's perspective. Because you was getting molded over as a child and told to shut up and move on and don't say nothing, and you carried that on. So whenever you opened your mouth to somebody and they not even attacked you but said certain words or certain phrases in the same manner that you heard it as a child, you go back to that. Oh no, I can't be vulnerable with you because you act like, or you piece it, or I hear it like such and such. So getting over that childlike inner mentality, that vulnerability, as Candace said.
It's
comment, bro, real quick.
No, so what they call that is a sensory memory. It could be sounds, smells, places, and if you've ever been, like here in LA, all you hear is the sirens, right?
Right.
Yeah.
As soon as but it's a trigger something. It takes you back to a moment.
Yeah.
Sensory memory is negative, but in most cases, based on what you're seeing, right?
It is. Yeah.
You hear that tone, or when you see that child in the store getting dealing with the consequences of whatever mom and dad said, it takes you back. Like, you feel a certain way. Sometimes you want to get involved, right? Hey man, I don't think it's that serious.
Yeah.
It can be.
It might not be that serious to you, but somebody else, like how we react to sirens that we heard when we was downrange. Everybody, every vet or every military soldier don't react to them the same way.
Right. So
I got cousins that'll put headgear on and walk around with a pistol in his hand. Shout out to Big Cuz. And he's one of the smartest men in the room.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that sound, it triggers him in a certain way. So everybody's different. There's levels to it.
Yeah, and I also think too, man, when we talk about mental health, like understanding the difference between mental illness and mental disorder. Like, so there's mental health, you got mental illness, mental disorder. There's all these different categories. And I feel like sometimes when we talk about it, or when it's talked about publicly, most people are just classifying the whole mental health with everything. But there's layers to it, because not everything about mental health is negative either.
Right.
Usually,
no, for sure.
Usually we lean in though with the negative and the toxic traits. So if that's all you're hearing too, right? If that's your only perspective of mental health, then you don't see it from like, oh, there's a way out.
Right.
every time I hear it, right? Oh, it's this, something bad. This need to happen. I ain't doing this. And now I'm judging myself, right? Oh shit, I fall under that category. Man, that's me. But we're having conversations like this where we get to expose the different layers of mental health and encourage people, like what you were saying. When I got the support I needed for my health, I can shift to things because a few things I was going to say real quick from a mental health component is it's a part of everybody, right?
No, for sure.
Nobody's exempt.
Right.
Something to be mindful of daily and to maintain is your mental health. Also, it's critical yet complex, and it's a real thing. It's also something that we can change too, though. If you don't like it, if you don't like it mentally,
right,
comes in emotionally, physically, right? You can change it. But it's also important to note that it's not something to be ashamed of.
No.
But
that's the biggest thing though, right there. And especially in our culture, just our culture alone, but in our generation, we wasn't able to be, vulnerable like that, to be able to speak on it. So that's the big one there.
No, for sure.
Yeah. Because the moment you expressed it, you got thoughts, right, out loud. But it's like nobody else is like, I know I ain't the only sitting here that got
can't be.
Right? Like, because I often say this, like when I'm in the elevator, so I'm like, man, if there was a teleprompter right now, we can hear what everybody, just see what everybody think while we going up these 15 floors.
Right.
You'd be surprised, like what's really going on. And I just trying to remind folks, like, look, regardless if don't nobody talk about it, if don't nobody accept your mental state, just know that you got to keep reminding yourself to know that you're not alone. Like you're not. Go on social media. If you think you're the only one that's got something,
right?
Confirmation. You need some validation. Swipe.
It's there.
Read them comments.
Read them comments. Yeah.
That's right there. The way. So, with that being said, it's not something that's just made up in your mind. And it's definitely not something. When we're going through mental episodes or feeling certain bouts of mental depression or whatever it is, it's not just something you can just snap out of at a drop of a dime.
Right.
Mm-hmm. There's that many, just snap out. Just like when we tell a child, when the child is upset, stop crying. Stop it. Hey, you caught me in the middle of this. If I knew how to, I wouldn't be in this state.
Right.
I wouldn't met you with this if I knew how to shift it and fix it. So
right.
And then one thing I want to say is it's not always a negative thing or a sign of weakness too.
No. And I believe that's the biggest stigma, besides it being a red flag and you can't do certain things. Got it. Because we were taught when we were in the military, or at least I was in the military, that once you put yourself out there, you're a red flag down. Now you can't deploy. Now you're not gonna get that promotion when you go to the board or whatever the case may be.
They lie to you so quick just to keep you in that bubble.
People are scared to put themselves out there like that because, like they said, vulnerability is scary. Regardless of how big and tough and rough you think you are, when it comes down to being vulnerable, that is one of the aspects of life, relationships, any kind of ship, whether it goes, when it comes down to being vulnerable, that's what people are scared of.
Yes.
Because displaying that strength is what you feel like is going to get you from day to day. It's not necessarily the case. Being vulnerable may get you over that hump because now you got somebody else near you that, like you said, is going through the same thing. You are not alone. I'm so glad you said that. You are not alone. You are not the only person that has gone through ABC 8, 9, 10. There are other people out there that are struggling just like you are, and you can find that support when it really comes down to it. Okay. There is nobody on the planet that has ever done anything by themselves.
Yep.
Nobody.
Right.
I don't care who it is. They had some help somewhere along the line.
Right.
So I mean, receiving help is not a sign of weakness.
No.
Being able to sit there and say that I may not be able to do this on my own is one of the greatest signs of strength we can display as human beings.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, one aspect, if you ask for help, society makes it seem like there's something wrong if you need help. But then we don't look at the fact that, like you said, there's a lot of things that we do that require assistance.
Yeah.
You know, just even how we're made, as if we talk about community, what's the purpose of building community? We always use that term.
Right.
Find your community, build your tribe, find your tribe, community. So if we just break it down from that perspective, there's a reason for that. It ain't just so you can ask somebody to hang out and say, hey, they cool, I'm cool, we all cool.
Right.
There's a cohesiveness that we get to do, that we get to work together. Like minds come together, build. And, you know, I as I've been on this journey, man, and just developing myself, something that, you know, I learned in jail that was really powerful, that I had this epiphany one day. I said, man, Arjuna, you can't be incarcerated twice. You know, I was talking to one of the OGs, and he said, what you mean by that? I said, well, shit, I'm already in here. I can't be, this is one place I know I can't break out of. I'm here, I'm locked in.
Right.
I'm not going to be locked in my mind and locked in behind this wall. I said, now I know, first of all, the system already done did me both. They ain't do me no fair justice. So why would I take, so now it's like, well, why am I going to match that energy?
Right.
With myself.
Right. And be stuck.
Yeah, and I think because if you know, for any brothers that's watching this later or down the road, or sisters that have been incarcerated, it's like, how I was able to break the cycle and never go back after I did my time. Because you know, we got people that get out and they end up back. They don't go back, but they somehow it appears to us on the outside that they comfortable going in and out.
Yep.
They just haven't been able to break that cycle. They have been able to disrupt that patterning, that conditioning. What helped me was that very narrative of like, if I feel the system has already cheated me. Yeah, I did some things wrong, but the way y'all dealt with me, that it wasn't ethical. It wasn't
right.
How am I gonna match that with my way of thinking? If I feel this way about you, well, I ain't gonna don't join you. Like, so that shit, but it was a rough one to look at. It's a hard one because now I'm like, well, then what does that mean, Arjuna? Oh, you got to get all your shit together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to start making phone calls home and start to apologize. Like, this shit that has to change.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
No, I'm on the. Hey, sorry. Forgive me. It took me all of this to realize I was an asshole. Like, I ain't been in my element. And what you see, all of these stories and all these components play a part of your mental.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
And for me, I know we were talking about being vulnerable. The biggest gift I've been giving myself has been able to talk about this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the main reason why I started this junk with it.
Yeah.
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 And that's what I was saying. I appreciate about y'all go there.
No, for sure. Uncomfortable.
And this, I'm about to say, this is like if we was in the house, there was no cameras around, we'd be talking about the same things.
Same thing.
Just
Same thing.
That's and I figured that out a long time ago. But like we was talking about being vulnerable, like that's one thing that I'm glad we started this for, because I know bro never wanted to be on the screen. Hell, I didn't either, but I knew we had a lot to say, and there's a lot of people that's been around us that was actually vulnerable with us. Right. You know what I mean? Like, we wasn't out there being vulnerable, but they were just vulnerable to us because they knew that, you know, we had something to say, and we've been through some things. Yeah. So, you know, understanding that and allowing people to be vulnerable around us, I think that's why people are, you know, like, love the show, and then they attach to us a lot.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just one thing when you got somebody that you can be vulnerable around. Don't get it twisted. You become attached to that person in a level and in a way that you will never be attached to anyone else in your existence.
That's true.
Anyone. Because being able to give that to you, like Candace said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell our people would have made it through, our ancestors would have made it through what they made it through if they just decided everybody for themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no way in hell.
Right.
No.
You know, none. I mean, because you got to think about it. Like, we've all played sports. We've all did this. We've all did that. The team effort. And I'm gonna say this, and hopefully they won't come get us in the black SUVs later on this week. But the United States government has done a wonderful job
Fantastic job.
at destroying the village
Mhm.
because individual peacemakers, Brother Malcolm, Dr. Martin, oh, we can knock them off. Shit, we ain't stopped the movement though. So what we're gonna do is destroy the village,
Give them crumbs right now. Yeah,
destroy the village.
we'll give you crumbs in the 70s, but we'll hit you harder in the 80s when the next generation comes. Just think about the plan, people. You got to understand if their plan took 30 plus years and it worked, their residual income is coming through the roof. Why do you think your vulnerability transformation is going to be overnight?
Yeah.
It's not nothing.
You're
Nothing
not
is
going to fix
overnight.
you're not going to fix whatever your problem is overnight.
No,
But you know
no,
what? Taking that step starts it.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's the
Taking that
only way you're
first
gonna.
step. There you go. That's the only way.
Only way you're gonna finish a step of 15,000 journey or whatever the case may be is taking that first one.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't never take that first step, like bro said, jump off the porch, get out of the house. Not necessarily fear is a hell of a motivator.
Ooh wee.
Yeah.
If you're afraid of being homeless, if you're afraid of being jobless, if you're afraid of being moneyless, all that motivates you to go do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Some of y'all done spent your whole life at a job you hate with the utmost. You hate with every drop of blood in your body,
Yeah.
but you fear everything else that this job keeps you from.
Yep.
So you stay at the damn job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, when it really comes down to your life, if you start fearing the fact that you will be lonely,
Mm.
fear the fact that you don't have anybody around you that understands, and we can't understand unless you explain. Hello?
Hello.
You can't get mad at somebody for not understanding you if you don't explain yourself to where they can understand it.
Yeah.
So once you get to that level of being able to exist and talk with people around you, we are not meant to be alone, like one of the comments was said earlier today. We are not meant to be alone.
No.
If you spend your entire existence by yourself, whether it's in a relationship or you don't have any friends, I couldn't. You are probably the one of the most fearful people on the planet because I could never. I
Yeah.
got to be able to talk to some damn body.
Man, what?
I
Yeah.
couldn't. I couldn't imagine being where Brother O'Neil has been, locked down for that amount of time, for him to create something that he created behind the walls. He did that, man.
See, somebody could go through it so you don't have to go through it.
Yeah.
Right. That's huge.
Because some of us
That's
ain't
huge.
strong enough to go through it. And a lot of us ain't open and smart enough to say that.
Yeah.
They rather run with the crowd right now because
Right.
they scared to be vulnerable about around their homeboys and tell them
That's
this,
huge.
hey, really, this ain't
That's
my
huge.
lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That if I
Well,
said that's huge. What you did, brother?
but think about it though. Think how many of us, if that look like us, if we think about how many friends we done lost along the way, from getting up every day, going outside, pretending to be somebody you ain't because of your environment, because of your uncle, or because somebody in the family, or a movie or something, man. Like
Yep.
we know what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
I growing up, man. Used to it was a game, on the east side of Detroit, and together, like you said, as a group, we was tough as nails,
Right.
right? But on some solo, you catch one of these dudes, and I having a witness, bear witness, like I'm running with these dudes, and I've seen one of the dudes get caught by himself, and I was like, oh, he ain't got that same energy.
No.
So, why am I running with a group of people? Because what reason? What do I need to be here? So really come back to yourself. What I'm trying to say is you get to look at yourself, but the strength comes from when you can challenge yourself.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's it.
You build character when you question your own BS. We worry about, we get mad at somebody else questioning our BS, but right? So we talking about mental health. All this flows into mental health. It's like, I'm mad because you questioning my BS, bro. Like, how you gonna check me about how I'm, but when it's time for me to look in the mirror,
You can't.
right? I'm head down. So I feel like the real strength, to me, what I learned, you know, real strength, real courage, real integrity, it comes when you said, well, both of y'all have already indicated, is that at the end of the day, it's up to you.
Yeah.
You can sit here and give people gems all day long. The whole manual, which is there is no one manual. We can give you the whole manual.
Right.
But what I'm gonna ask you to do, invite you to do, is listen to your thoughts as you're watching this now. If you're tuning in live right now, pay attention to the quality of your thoughts.
Yeah.
Pay attention to what you're saying. Is it you want to cringe? You feel, or you know, just notice that. It ain't that you
Right.
don't judge yourself. Just notice where you be, because after you hear all this, and you can comment in the thing and drop gems and all the stuff, right? But what you gonna do? Like you said, what's the next step?
Yeah.
Right.
Did you just hear it? And what I know for most people, and I'm just gonna say this to give people the permission to give themselves the grace and space, because a lot of times, yeah, it's fear, but it's not just the fear. It's the default mindset to go into what's not possible based on all your past experiences. See, like when we think about stuff, most of us haven't trained our mind to think about what's possible first.
Right.
We go down the what if list.
Yep.
You always think about what you can't do first versus what you can do.
And
huge.
And so when you can shift that, right?
Mm-hmm.
These three degrees up here ain't got nothing to do with me trying to be educated.
Right.
I got them though.
Yeah.
I went and got my master's, but it wasn't for none of the reasons what people think I got them. I came from a culture. I came from a certain mindset, a way of life that didn't come with the moral compass of integrity, honesty, discipline, you know, connection, talking, being vulnerable. So I went to school to retrain and reprogram the way I function in society. I knew I was a young dad. I'm like, I got to get my family together. I don't want to repeat what I'm already seeing in my family structure.
Right.
Because I've seen how far that has taken, you know, the members of the family. Yeah. So I said, man, so I'm gonna go back to school and I'm gonna train myself. I'm gonna find a way to build the discipline. I didn't have nobody on the streets or in the family circle to teach me the discipline. So sometimes we got to be humble enough to say, hey, I got to lead this pack.
Yep.
So I'm a huge fan of National Geographic. I study animals and I love the lions. I love watching lions. And if you study lions, what the lions do, either the young males get ran off or they go off, right? They leave the pack. Instead of leaning in on the pack, they go and start their own. And sometimes that's how a lot of us need to do that. We need to be able to say, hey, this collective group has gotten me so far.
Yep.
Right.
I've outgrown my season.
Yes.
Yeah. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I got to go ahead and figure it out.
Yeah. Yep. And what I get and what I gather from going back there, I'm going to come back. So if we cross paths later on down in life, I got some more information for you if you want it.
Yeah, I got something to teach you.
I got something to teach you.
Right. I didn't go off just on my own just to fuck around. Yeah. I wasn't sowing my royal oats or anything like that.
Right.
I went out and actually built myself up. So if we do cross paths, like bro said, I got something for you if you want it.
If you want
it. I'm not going to give it to you if you don't want it now.
Right.
And that's one thing we got to understand, that sometimes, like bro was saying, you got to cut these people off that are either holding you back or don't want your information. If they don't want it, don't force it on them.
Nope.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and move on. Just move on to the next.
Yep.
Like Jay-Z said, on to the next one.
Yeah.
Because again, if you try to push it on them right now, it's gonna take them further back. But if you just drop it in them, they don't want it, you keep on moving, guess what? You go get yours, they go get whatever they're getting, and then eventually it'll come back to the head because you already dropped the gem in the head.
Yeah.
For sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
and like we said, nothing's overnight.
Yeah.
Sometimes the gems that you receive as a recipient, right?
Textbook.
They take that polish and to get it to where it's a fine stone now. It's a precious stone.
Right.
Yep.
Right? And that comes through the life experiences. But
Yep.
you can't, you have to be okay with, because sometimes what happens with the lions when they leave, sometimes they circle back and
Right.
end up rejoining the pride. But when they come back, they better off and more valuable to the pride now, because when they went off and figured out how to hunt on their own and learn how to, assert their dominance, yada, 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 now they come back to the pack, they end up adding value to the pack. So sometimes that may be your story. You just need to find who you be versus somebody telling you, who you be. You get to find out who you, and you have to be okay with. It's like it's a complex conversation. The reality is everybody got to go through it. So you have to be okay with it, because you're not the only one who's got to go out here and figure out life, right? I know when you're in it, though, that's the thing, the mental. When you're in it by yourself, you feel like you're the only person going through it. You feel like nobody else out here living it, even though you can see it. You can literally see it across social media. You see it in the movies. It's in the script. It's in the songs. It's in the songs that we listen to. But I'm always interested, like, how do you not catch that? Like, how is it you can listen to the music, watch the movies, see the same scenarios, but then in your world, man, this shit is only me going, man. Ain't nobody out here. I'm alone. I can't trust nobody. Like, and I just wonder. So I'm always like fascinated by this ideology or this identity thing that we do.
Yeah, that's great. And it have, like me and Brett talked about it before. Like you said, we'll say skits or slogans from a movie, and folks, it'll go right over their head. But it's a gem that you never even caught before.
Right. Yeah.
Because they didn't get the message because of the messenger that was delivering the message. You didn't hear it in the song. You didn't hear it in the movie. You didn't hear it over here. You didn't hear it from this uncle and auntie because you didn't like them.
Yeah.
So you didn't get the message.
You got all the negative stuff you wasn't supposed to remember. You caught all the negative stuff out of there instead of all the gems.
Right. So that brings me up to the thing of another one of my practices. I believe in starting the day with a blank. So I keep in my office, when I shut down, I put a blank sheet of paper on the desk. So when I get up and come in the office, it's to remind myself to start the day with a brand new canvas, nothing on it, because it's easy to lean in with a preconceived notion, right? You can shoot this link out, hey, y'all, tune in. We about to go live. This is going to be a keeper. I already got a preconceived notion because I see three men with locks and he mild and he got a. So I done set myself up to miss half of what's about to come through.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Because I got a preconceived notion of what, they talking, whatever it is.
They don't know nothing. Yeah.
Right.
Whatever it is, whatever the story is.
Yeah.
So, the thing is, it's like when I was speaking in DG's course, the bottom line, the message was, if you already sitting here and you ain't even let me finish doing what I do, or sharing what I'm sharing with you, you already have a preconceived notion of what this is, and you shut yourself out, right? It's like we wake up and we do that to life every day. We're praying for this, asking for this, right? And then boom, here we go.
Yep.
I'm praying for this, I'm asking for this. And then I already got a preconceived notion of how the day gonna be, because some of the things we gotta do are repetition.
Yeah,
sure.
So you already assume that tomorrow the boss gonna be the same way, or your coworker gonna be the same way. How you know it's a new day? Give yourself the permission to try to experience something new versus already locking yourself into a certain identity, a certain belief, but then you want a different outcome. I think they call it cognitive dissonance. But so what are my practices? What am I doing for myself to give myself that space and that understanding and that clarity?
Right.
Because sometimes on the work, if you listen to that one track, that's my jam though. But that one jam could take you
where you ain't supposed to be.
Emotionally, right? And then you expect to jump out the car and walk into the job and be like, hey, you already programmed. That hook in that track.
Right.
Got you a whole nother tip. But you ain't even aware, and you wondering like why. And you know, another big thing is there's a direct correlation between the food that we eat in our mental and emotional state. I realized that because I used to always wonder, like, why when we was on the block hustling, doing our thing, dudes be so quick to just get into a squad and fight. And I'm like, well, shit, you think about it, all y'all putting in your body is blunts, a pop, soda, whatever y'all call it.
Yep.
And some few quarter bags of chips. But you got a pocket full of money though.
And candy.
Yeah. And won't eat nothing, but not having awareness. So not knowing, and this is why I always encourage people, man, study the human anatomy, study the body, know what your best like, know what he can do. Because this, to me, I get it. Apple is cold-blooded, AI is cold-blooded, but this is some of the greatest technology, the human form.
Oh yeah. There's so many different people in this world. You can't. Nobody's the same. So
there's no same fingerprint.
None at all.
That should tell you something about yourself.
Right.
People like, we are the same on the inside. No, we're not.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. Because my body is different. I've been lactose intolerant all my damn life. But you over here, you can like my little brother. He drinks milk like water. Like if he doesn't drink milk, he freaks the fuck out. If he doesn't have a glass of either milk, chocolate milk, strawberry milk, doesn't matter. It's milk. I can't do milk like that.
No. Be in the bathroom.
Look, I'm about to clear out the house. You're gonna make me sleep outside. There's an issue when it really comes down to it. Yeah. But you know, not everybody's the same.
Yep.
They all black men are predisposed to high blood pressure. I found out Asian people are too.
Yep.
You know, it's
like you said, bro. They planted a seed back in the 70s and 80s. It's working now.
Yeah.
Like
you planted the high blood pressure in our parents. So then they gave it the preconceived.
Yeah.
But we can fix it. It's just are you gonna be vulnerable enough to take in the information?
Yeah.
Because the information that's out here you're not gonna like. You're gonna have to change a lot of things in your life. The diet, whatever it's your diet, whether it's your mental health, it's your physical health, it's a lot of things that you're gonna have to change. You're not gonna like it because some of your favorite things or some of your favorite people are not gonna be on your side.
Great point. You have to change. Look, they keep rewriting the script for slave movies.
Keep doing it.
How many versions how do you like what gets better about it?
Right.
Like how about we just stop putting slave movies out?
Well, we know
we got enough.
We know what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Every time you see it's a new script, it takes sensory memory. Whoop. Don't forget y'all. Don't forget y'all. I know y'all hit in the bag. Y'all done hit y'all little air and did some things, and let us remind you.
Right.
Yeah.
We can't get that little 10-20% that done started change, but we gonna keep our hands on that masses because the masses is always gonna be around.
Because how many people won't watch a slave movie or won't watch a movie like that because we know how we're gonna act towards white people a week later?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they want.
Yep.
They want you to not like exactly who you don't like.
Yep.
And keep doing it because it benefits them.
Yep. Even though y'all neighbors and y'all borrow each other's rakes and lawnmowers and
I'm not lending out shit. Don't ask me for a damn thing if I'm your neighbor. I'm not gonna do it because you ain't gonna give it back the same way you gave it to me. Don't ask me. Can I borrow your lawnmower? No, it's not. I'm just me though. Don't listen to me. But at the same time, hear what I'm saying. Hear me, but don't listen to me. Because there's a difference if y'all didn't know.
Yeah.
But that's, it just is what it is. That's why they keep doing what they're doing because it's been working.
It's been working.
Yeah. And then you got, and so with all of that being said too, in terms of mental health, I pulled up 7 types of mental health disorders that they classify. You got anxiety disorder, depression, bipolar, post-traumatic stress, PTSD. schizophrenia, eating disorder, disruptive behavior, dissocial disorders, and then you got neurodevelopmental disorders, right?
Right.
Shit, I'm 6 out of 7.
So they get and
Dang.
but what's crazy is they'll come up with all these types, they'll classify all these types,
Uh-huh.
and they'll give them the labels, but they'll never give us real solutions and real antidotes, like formulas to heal from these things.
No.
It's like, no, we're gonna bring it to your attention, and we're gonna tell you about a pill that'll change the mood in this one, but increase the detriment of this other one. And
Yep.
I one of the things that I picked up from when I got shot, the reason why I talk about this is we have been trained too that our own knowledge, our own gift, our own intuition is not valid unless you got these.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? So the surgeon that worked on my body when I came in emergency, I was DOA when I arrived. He was considered one of the top surgeons in Michigan at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he argued with me and told me that the conversation I had with God, I was just going through. I was, what do they call it when you're going through post-traumatic stress? They're like, oh, that's you tripping right now. So we're gonna give you more morphine. I said,
More
no.
morphine.
I said, no, man, I'm good. Like I'm telling you what happened.
Right.
Like, well, I've been in this field for so long. I'm the top of it. He gave me all his credentials, his stats, and then they gave me this paperwork that argued with me that, look, bro, this is why you ain't gonna make it, and we're gonna have to amputate your leg. I said, no, man, y'all ain't doing none of that.
No.
Y'all ain't gonna do none of that. I said, I'm only 19. What you mean you cutting my shit off? I still got I made a bad choice, but I got a whole life ahead of me. But what I was trying to help them understand is, and I'm saying this to anybody that's listening, because sometimes we can get to hear God talk to us, connect, and you listen. But because we've been trained that the only time your voice or your intuitive knowing is actually real and valid is if it comes with a title.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Some type of somebody got to sign off on that don't look like you.
Sure.
To make it. And I was like, nah, bro, miss me with that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful and so thankful that I was able to stand on that.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And the reason why I was able to stand on it, because I'm like, if I can die for the dumb shit I was doing, right? For some of us, we got to think about it. We're willing to die and put our life on the line for some of the dumb shit. But we won't have that same energy for the shit that can literally take us out of the misery and the suffering and the pain that we're trying to get away from. It doesn't mean you got to die to do it, but it's just having the determination.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right? The fight to go in that direction.
Right.
Right.
If it wasn't a successful direction, most people wouldn't have done it. So I'm saying, look at it from the fact that people who have changed their life, who are able to change their family's life, their whole generation, on going in a direction that shows you, if I do these things, my life can be plentiful. I can live a more fulfilling life.
Yep. How
you gonna be scared of that?
It's because people are scared of accountability.
Right.
They scared of being held tight or put their feet to the fire over what's going on. You made this decision, stand by it.
Yes.
Don't let somebody talk you off of it just because they got more paperwork, like you were saying, on the wall.
Right.
This doctor or this therapist or whatever, nothing against getting therapy. It's a big deal. But when it really comes down to it, if you hold tight to what you know, there's a lot of things in your life that will change versus somebody always trying to talk you down off of what you say. Stand on what you believe and believe in what you stand on.
Yep.
And for me, right there, you just hit the nail on the head, man. That to me is one of the biggest pieces of mental health that we don't really look at.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's not all of these disorders and these labels. It's just that mindset that you have about yourself, actions, your belief. That's a part of mental health that we don't look at. It's like, how am I taking care of myself? What are the quality of my thoughts? What am I believing? What am I willing to do and not do? Like, look at your mental health from the fact that if you're willing to go, no judgment to us that like to pull up at the club on the weekend. But some of us know some of them clubs that we go in, It's a 50-50
It's
gamble.
a 50-50 chance.
So you like, and that's mental health. Like you playing with your life.
Play with your life.
Yep.
Man, that baddie in there though, bro.
That. Is she worth that bullet? She can't be worth it.
Yeah.
That's but like you said, that's a 50-50 chance. That's a mental thing.
Yeah.
We don't even think about. But we ain't, but again, where do we start though with the coaching and the teaching? Because if they in the school systems for 8 hours, even if the parents are doing 30 minutes a day, that helps, but they getting drilled this society stuff. They getting it drilled in their head. Hey, don't be vulnerable. Listen to this music. Dress like this. Walk like this. Stay away from this. Don't talk to this. Don't do this. Like they got a whole lot of don'ts. And then we come in like, yeah, you can. Like, psh, yeah, my face. You old.
Well, you know what? The video that you saw with my daughter, that was me being a student, learning. So my daughter, that specific daughter, lives in London. I met her mom abroad. I'm a musician too. I play the drums. So I was traveling. Met her mom, and she came to America. I moved her to America, but she had to go back. Things didn't work out. I hadn't seen her physically for 13 years. That video was like literally the first time I saw her in physical form, 13 years. But I never stopped connection. I used the app, so I get it. You know, we talked about the apps and keys on the phones, but it benefited me in this way to have a relationship with my daughter. But I'm saying, but she lives in London. The things that I'm exposed to here, she ain't exposed to. So we have a conversation. She's like, well, Dad, race ain't really a thing, you know, and all the different things I'm trying to teach her. She's like, well, Dad, that's not my flow.
Yeah.
You know what? So when she came, I said, there's the idea you're her father. So that means you have to be the parent. Right. But then the reality was, bro, she ain't seen you in 13 years. How you gonna just come in her world? She's 17. She turned 17 on Father's Day. I said, no, you have to be the student. And some things that we don't do. So you were asking the question, how do we change? I'm like, learn, listen.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sure. Listen, let her tell you. So when I listened and just let her game me on what life was for her, how she sees the world, I'm like, oh shit.
Right.
Fixed in this belief, this narrative, this identity. She lives in a whole other country where it's the complete opposite.
Right.
And so she gave me her perspective on life, which she said, Dad, I get it, but sometimes you just got to allow yourself to be open. She's like, I understand, because we met up in Florida. Enough said.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But she flew into Florida because she wanted to go to Disney World as soon as she got in. So we in Florida. And I'm giving her all the lay of Florida, like, hey, she like, that ain't my reality. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Right. Like, hey, don't put me
in your circle, your box. Yeah.
Right. And she was able to, she had enough emotional awareness about herself to say, hey, look, I may not experience that. I don't put that out there. I'm like,
no, that's huge.
I'm like, yeah, because that's how I'm walking around. I'm already with the shit, ready for this. So she like, I get it. And it taught me something. But what she did gave me permission to put down the survival mode so we can actually experience each other, have a good time. Because I was in such a survival mode that my radar is like, who won it? Well, if I say anything wrong or do anything, Florida, I got something for you, you know?
Yeah.
And she like, don't let that rob. But she was like, don't let that reality rob us of our experience. She said, my time here limited, Dad.
Huge.
And I was like, damn.
Huge.
That's big. Yeah.
That's huge.
And so that's why I came in with survival mode thing, because I was like, there are so many different layers to how we look at survival, but I'm looking at it not from the financial piece, but more, I got to protect it. I got to make sure.
Protect it. Mm-hmm.
She like, I get it. She's like, but we ain't even had the experience yet, so how you know?
Right.
Balance.
It may not happen.
Yeah.
And it didn't. We went.
Right.
We had a beautiful time. Like, we hung out. She learned how to drive. I taught her how to drive in a few days. Like, all these things we got to do. But it wasn't until she gave me a different perspective that I was able to put that down.
Put it down. No, for sure. For sure. I can definitely wrap my head around that, because in Buck and the Texas being deployed, I went to Iraq, you went to Afghanistan, two totally different places. And when you go out and you see this and you see what you saw on the news before you went over there, and
Mm.
everybody's telling you what's going on before you get there, and the briefings that you get, and
Oh,
going to Korea as well.
yeah,
And then you get there and you're like, these people ain't what y'all said these people are.
right.
Yeah.
You're letting a small group of people just completely tarnish the entire area.
Yeah.
I didn't go to Korea with the expectation because I never wanted to go out anyway. I just wanted to do my year and just come on back. But
Mhm.
bro was like, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to go out and see this, you got to go out and experience the food
Yeah.
and whatever the case may be. But at the same time, in the briefings, they're giving us all this negative stuff
Mm-hmm.
where there's soldiers that's been here since 2014 and they're still here in Korean jails and things like that. That may be true, but at the same time, that's not me.
That's not my lane, right?
He did what he did. Like Brother O'Neil said, that was a choice he made. So he
Mm-hmm.
has to deal with those consequences. I'm not going out making these choices.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going out eat. I'm gonna go see this club real quick, and then I'm back across the wire.
One sec.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah,
It's just things that certain people, honestly, their experience is not your experience.
right.
But when you sit there and let someone talk you into it, into their experience being yours, I don't want to say weak minded, but at the same time, how weak minded are you
Yeah, you gotta grow. You
for
have to
that
grow.
for that prejudice? And I'm gonna say it prejudice to actually be washed over you, and now you're sitting out there. Of course, everyone has prejudice. It's not a bad word. I mean, you prejudge people every goddamn day,
Mhm.
every day.
Right. That's so
But
true.
but when it comes down to the simple fact that I'm gonna let this be what they said it was gonna be, and I'm gonna ride with it. Don't do that shit.
Right. Don't be
Don't
labeled.
let don't let someone talk you into their individual labels or experiences just because of the simple fact that that's what they're used to.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Go out and experience things as you as an individual.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm gonna go to this country. All right, I know what I've been told about this country, but at the same time, is this what this country is about? No,
right.
it's not.
No.
Yeah. That,
Not not in your lane. It's not anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. You just following footsteps that don't need to be that you don't need to follow.
No.
yeah. I think you touched on something huge, man. And that's when you were asking the question, like, where do we start? Is the awareness. First, there's awareness, and then there's self-awareness. Like,
Right.
so you gave me all this game about this country, right? But then there's my own individual experience.
Hmm.
And can I allow myself to have that experience? Because I might see something and grab something that you did or miss something
Right.
or whatever it is. And then can you have the experience? And then from the experience, don't sign the dotted line yet.
Right.
Take a moment to reflect on that experience. Right. That's what I had to do with my daughter. When she left, I sat I just said, hold on, let me just sit in this for a minute. Like, what did I really see? What did I catch from this one? Because I got 5 children. So she's my oldest daughter. I got 2 girls, 3 boys. And what she taught me, I was able to administer across the other 4 children. The gift that she gave me.
Yep.
And I explained that to them. And the reason why I say, it's so important to talk to our children or connect with you, a parent, to get understanding is because sometimes we have this idea as parents that this is what it is, we know best. But it was my kids that helped me see, because I usually get all my children in the summer. But they knew that their sister was coming for the first time in 13 years. So they was like, look, Dad, let her come first. You
Right.
do. And I was like, damn, my kids telling me this.
Yeah. See, that's really big.
Yeah,
That's
and
huge.
her sister 14, she younger, and
Yeah.
she like daddy's favorite, my youngest.
Yeah.
So we got a real strong bond. She was like, hold on, Pop. She's like, look, we know she ain't been here in 13 years. They like, you reconnect first, Do y'all
Yeah.
think? And
It
then
was.
and then we all pulled up, and I was like,
That's what's up.
to have the kids think like that, because in my
Yeah.
mind, I'm thinking, man, some of the things that I'm seeing, I'm like, oh man, they didn't got some of that street in them, some of Detroit done sprinkled on them, or they didn't miss, they not getting all of what I've been putting down. But when it was time all said and done, when I least expected, they showed up with the level of emotional intelligence that I've been trying to teach and start.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
That
even,
heart came out first.
yeah. So from a mental health perspective, like really from a mental health perspective, is really being able to listen sometimes is a gem. Not just to your kids, but just in general, being able to listen, but listen with the emotional awareness. Not just I hear you,
Yeah.
right? But can I feel? Where's that empathy at?
Right.
Right.
And how many are y'all brothers familiar with the term, the acronym SAD?
It could be something different. Spit
Yeah,
at us.
ours might be a little different.
Okay, well, it's seasonal affective disorder. So
Okay.
Okay.
this is usually people that live in the Midwest on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast, right? Sun shines more. So it's when the sun less out the sun in the day.
Yeah.
So look it up if anybody that is not familiar with the term.
Our nephew went through that.
Yeah, so
He went from California to Ohio, and he was like, "Nah, I'm cool. I'm going back home."
Yeah, and some of the side effects of SAD are some of the 7 types of mental health that we read: anxiety, depression. Some people feel the post-traumatic stress, all of the disruptive behavior and dissocial disorder from. So they encourage people in the wintertime to get out if there's sun out. They get out there in the afternoon when the sun is the brightest, because you feel lonely, depression, all those things. So most people don't even know what it is. But
Right.
I don't know if you've ever kept up with the stories in the news, like in the wintertime in Chicago, Detroit, and those East Coast and Midwest, the crime rate around holidays. A lot of people think, it's holidays. That's why they acting a fool. Some of it, but most of it is people are going through it and don't even know why.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to drop that in there too in terms of mental health. We're on that topic. Yeah, it's called seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah.
And then they even sell lights, like how these Ring cameras, they're bright that you can put in the house that actually helps give you that extra burst, like sunlight is supposed to help with the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why London, I don't know if you've ever been to London, the UK, is so or New York. Sometimes in the wintertime, them tall buildings.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't do well up there. It's too. If it ain't summertime, dead summertime. Nah, cause I see y'all on the next go round.
Right. No, I was in upstate New York in Watertown, New York, right at that Fort Drum. So it's right up there, 30 minutes away from the border. But it almost made me quit smoking. Because I'm not about to get into all this. Just go outside for 5 minutes and just. And I'm sitting there like, nah.
Look, it's 65 degrees right now. I'm in a hoodie and sweatpants. Can you imagine what I dress up? No.
Oh wow. Yeah, well,
I'm straight.
Shit, I'm sweating. It's about 80 out here.
See, don't do us like that. Don't do us like that. Don't do us like that.
Man, all right, I ain't even gonna pan on y'all. I ain't gonna shit.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
See, we got a little brother out there. He heads up fitness.
Okay.
Our brother T Mac. So he do that to us all the time. Bro, look at it's sunny out. I gotta cut up. He'd be walking around with no shirt on. Be like, come on, bro. We hoodied up out here, man. You killing me.
Right. And I'm a hot natured person, self-diagnosed at the time. So I rock and roll with. I'm usually in cut off shirts and stuff during the wintertime. When I first met the boss lady's family, like, you ain't cold? I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Not them.
Like no, but now it's like, I'm not dealing with it. Nah.
Well, I'm just looking at the time. I was gonna say, what have been in terms of mental health? Because I didn't know that y'all were veterans. Like y'all both
Yeah,
served.
yeah,
Oh
both
yeah.
of us.
Man,
Yeah.
shout out to the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Salute. I'm just curious. Like we can both, all of us can share just some of our own like mental health, but just from being, I'm a street soldier, so I can relate.
Oh,
Right, right.
I deployed myself, so
yeah.
I deployed. I got in my own Humvee. I deployed myself, but
yeah.
just to but seriously though, you know, I don't think people understand, you know, when you have been around that type of energy and just exposure to just life 1 minute and then gone, and then the gunshots, things and the booms and what that does on your nervous system, my brothers and sisters. If you ain't been in that, it's not something you can imagine. You can think.
No, it's not.
Nah.
It's not.
Have to imagine.
No. Like you play video games all your life.
Yeah.
So you know you feel like you've been in that scenario.
No, it ain't
Until that first, and then you know you went through basic training, so you know they shot over your head, stuff in the blank, so you think you went through it. Oh, buddy, let that first real shot come across your head.
Yeah.
It is nothing to play with, and how fast, and all you hear is it's like,
when you
oh,
they hit you. It's different. This
Yeah, no, for sure.
It takes chunks out of you. And you know, I remember because I thought I was back then. I remember I had a AK-47 with the 250 round drum, and for New Year's that was our thing, right? And my man, we chopped down the trees, but we had to put on the thin slate winter glove. When you feel that, had that in your body one time, so to have them rifle butts sitting on.
Yeah,
you can be on something. You don't even got to be anything that just make the body quiver like that. You like, hey, wait a minute, it's a real thing. I'm just saying, from having those experiences, like the inner work that you have done to be who y'all be now, I know what it's like, and I know it's major. It ain't no easy. I mean, you might listen to it, it's like, he did this, he did that. No, to see what these men are, and to have the conversation that they having, I'm gonna let y'all know if y'all don't believe it or understand it to the death. That's major transformational work, y'all. Y'all don't understand.
Yeah.
When that shit's in your system.
No.
It ain't like when we was on probation, you was trying to just flush, you drink a gallon of water to get the urine out. You said, no, this should be attached to your DNA. Like and it's a real thing. So you know, shout out to y'all, both of you soldiers, man, for being able to move through and still move through and grow through and have the awareness and the diligence, but also not just that, the care to talk and to help people see things from a different perspective, man. You don't have to do this.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Y'all can be on your merry way. Like, hey, look, get that shit out, homie. We had ain't nobody roll up on us and say, hey, here's the master plan.
But see that is the reason why we did it, because we knew somebody else is either going through or is going to go through or know somebody that's going through the things that we talk about or the things that we've already been through ourselves. Like you said, dealing with PTSD in this world it's one of the hardest things that you could ever see. And I'm not saying that, you know, there's levels to it, but the people that we've been downrange with and we've seen and we talked to, or the people that we know that went downrange and did the things. And not only that, we know their past. So they was already down the street life. They was already living down the street life.
Right.
So when you join the military, it's almost like, you know, you join another gang, and then you have to deal with not only the PTSD that you dealt with from the streets, you got to now add on the PTSD on top of the physical abuse that you had to take while you was in the military. So we just try to give out that light, that game, man, that it ain't easy, but it's possible. Just, you know, it's just day by day, step by step.
Definitely doable. When it comes down to, like Bro said, with the people that we deploy with, the people that we didn't deploy with but deployed, we're the same. We kicked up the same dirt, have no idea where just as far as this person is as the East is from the West. You have no idea who this person is, but as soon as, like, I went to the ER on Wednesday, and there was this dude from Vietnam. Like my granddad is a Vietnam vet.
Right.
When I first joined the army, I came and showed him all our gear, and he was like, his eyes just got salsa big because such a difference between the time that he was in Vietnam and the initial Korean push a long time ago to what it is now.
Yeah. Big
Like show
difference.
him that the gear, the vest, like what we do. I mean, the same dirt, just a different time zone.
Yep.
Completely, like he was going forward in time, looking at like all my uncles, my older brother OJ, he was in the service as well. My dad was in the service. Like when it really comes down to it, you know, Pops Cedric Timms was it?
Yep.
His dad, excuse me. His dad was in the service. So there's things that change. And my granddad would sit back and tell me, and I listen to my granddad every time I get a chance to. If you got your grandparents in your life, or you got somebody, one of the elders in your life, hey man, sit down
Sit
and
down.
listen to what they
Listen.
was and
Oh
listen to
my
them.
God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please do.
And
Yeah.
I sit down and listen to my granddad talk, listen to my grandmother talk, 84, 85 years old. The things that they will tell you has nothing, is a drop in the bucket on the things that they don't tell you.
Mm.
Right.
The things that they went through to see you being where you are right now,
Mm-hmm.
hello, is
For real.
huge,
For
Yeah.
real.
huge
Yeah.
when it comes down to it. So I sit down and listen to my granddad talk, and I'm like, it's almost like I'm 6, 7 years old again.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and listening to him like
Yeah.
And
with
yeah.
everything, with every attentive cell in my body, I'm trying to absorb as much what he got. They still got the 8-track playing in their house. It's just one of those things that when it comes down to this generation, we had to learn because our parents and grandparents told our music wasn't shit. And then now we're telling the people that coming up behind us that their music wasn't shit. Our music was a shit.
Yep.
You know, these same people you can learn from too. I don't give a damn how old you are.
Yep.
If you can teach me something, I'm gonna sit down and listen
Yeah.
Yep.
because if I don't know, I'm a sponge. I'm trying to absorb as much as possible when
Yes.
it really comes down to it because it's not gonna do nothing but help me in the long run with it. But
Yeah.
being a vet, man, there's too many veterans.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about the homeless population. There's too many veterans a part of this homeless population.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here in Nashville is
Yep.
because I'm close to Nashville. I don't live in Nashville. Stop trying to find me. I live in mind your damn business city. Don't look for me. I'm everywhere and nowhere at the same time. But I see it. You got
Yeah.
signs that saying panhandling is illegal here, illegal there. But a lot of these veterans, man, you need to go to places where you're benefited at.
Yeah.
As soon as you sign that contract, your 100% benefits are for you. You just got to go get them.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Your benefits
I
are for
mean,
you. Go get them.
sure, 100%. There's nobody there. Like my older brother, he lives in Abu Dhabi. He's been over there since 2005,
Yes.
and he served. And I'm like, dude, go get your shit. He was like, no, I'm good.
No, I'm good.
Why? Go get your shit.
Yeah. It's
It's there
yours
for
to go
you.
get. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, is it gonna take some time? Yeah, but have the patience to track your change down. Because if somebody told you they got to check in that mailbox every day, you walk your ass down to that damn mailbox.
Yeah.
No question about it whatsoever. Go get
Yep.
your money.
So go
Go
get
get it.
so fill out the paperwork just so you can walk down to that mailbox
Yeah.
once a month
Yeah.
Mm,
because
yeah,
it's worth
yeah.
it.
And
So,
from the outside looking in, what I'm picking up is there was a level of injustice on the part of you being a soldier that you feel like now, you know what?
abs-
Fuck y'all. I don't even want this. And so that's where the mental health, right? You get to look at it like
am I really benefiting? Am I doing myself a service by feeling this way, or do I continue to be in this survival mode or lack thereof when I can, even though they did, but this is for me, go get it. So it's like work with that, right? Work with this. Something I also wanted to just drop in real quick in terms of like what I did for this episode, knowing we were going to talk about things that can bring up old wounds and traumas and exposure.
Yeah.
So like simple things that we may not think about. I don't know if you can see it over here. I got my little. So I have my incense. I like the incense, fragrance, the smell. I got my little healing lamp. But these are little things that I do. I got my little essential oil that it smells a certain way. There's certain things that we can do if you have to address in terms of us talking about like challenging things or you know being able to express your feelings and the heaviness that you carry. There's little things that you can do to enhance the mood, the environment. So that way, when that heavy shit come over you, the smells, the scents, the things, it helps me remind myself, like, yeah, I may be having this story and I may feel something. Don't go back in time. You don't have to go.
No, for sure.
You have to start hearing the
no, for sure.
You know, and because it's in my body. I've been shot before. So the nervous system, the subconscious mind, which lives in the body, will hear and feel from talking, but not know that, hey, he just having a conversation. Right. And sometimes if you don't understand how the subconscious mind works, it gets triggered by the sounds, the stories. So it doesn't know that you're just having a conversation with your homies. You literally can relive these moments. So it's like setting yourself up. What can you do to set yourself up to help you? You know, remind yourself that, hey, this is just a conversation. I'm just releasing, or, you know, I'm moving through something. So there's little things I do. I breathing exercises. You know, every day I'll start before this episode started. I did some breathing. I have my yoga mat on the other side of my ring light here. Just some movements, things to just move the body, open up the energy. So I was just sharing some little basic tips that you can practice. Practical tips. I got a little jazz track that I play. It just takes me back down memory lane when shit was good, life was good, when it wasn't all crazy. Sure. These are little things that you can do. Find jams, songs, talk to somebody that, you know, y'all have a relationship where y'all inspire each other, y'all motivate each other. Don't call up the homie or the girlfriend that's gonna take you down the rabbit hole.
Right. That bullshit.
Yeah. So it's really looking at what can you do. And so in terms of just advice, because giving people gems and things that they can do to help themselves is like find the things that change your mood, that literally alter your state of being. So that way, when you go into the heavy shit, you're more likely to be able to move through it, see it, and take. They say if you can take the emotion out the experience, then you can extract the wisdom.
Yep.
But if you because if we having these conversations about just being vets, right, and all we doing is just getting to the pain of it and never really looking at the wisdom or the gem that you learn and take away from it, you just keep perpetuating the cycle of
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was huge.
Yeah.
That was a big one.
No, that was a big one. Take the emotion out of it.
Yeah.
Most people, all they do is live on emotion.
And at the same time, talking about, man, I ain't emotional.
Yeah.
Hey, I tell anybody that got Drake in their playlist, but if you got Drake in your playlist,
you're a little emotional.
If you got about 5 or 6 tracks, if you got you might want to reconsider.
Hey, I even go back. If you listen to UGK, if you got Pimp C, if you listen to Pimp C, you was emotional. If you listen to Outkast, you was emotional.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh shit, you got me on that.
Hey, I'm saying, Andre was one of the most sensitive men.
Look, if you got if your playlist is Erykah Badu heavy, you're probably emotional.
Now, if you neo soul, you're a little emotional. Don't be walking around here acting like you're emotional.
You got me thinking about Pop.
Boom.
I hit him up. Like,
there you go.
Yeah, you're an emotional dude.
Yeah.
I'm a big teddy bear. I'm an emotional dude off the rip. It doesn't take. I can cry at the drop of a hat. At the same time, I can hold it back and punch a hole through a handicap sign.
Yes,
I've
sir.
been this way my entire life.
Yeah.
And being able, like you said, the mental health, being able to control that It's a conscious, everyday thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that I can stop thinking about.
Yeah.
It's something that I have to think about when I wake up, before I go to sleep, while I'm dreaming. Shit. You got to be able to control what you're doing, because if you don't, you're going straight to jail. Because I've been there, done that
Yep. Yep.
off of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ain't that the worst when you sitting in that bullpen? You're like, damn, if I would have just took that one breath, that reset. So let's talk about this real quick, because this is
Real quick.
This is problem. Look, that reset. How many of us, if we got honest with ourselves, that relationship probably is still work. You probably
Yeah.
wouldn't get child support. You probably wouldn't have had to pay that fine. The car probably wouldn't have got towed. You probably wouldn't have to put new windows in the house or the whip. You probably wouldn't have been in jail. Didn't have to pay for the little commissary if you just would have taken 5 seconds to 10
Yeah.
to 15 to pause and breathe. Just
Yep.
breathe. So that's the power of the breath. If you reset your nervous system, but you can also reset your thinking. But we always take the breath afterwards.
After.
After we in the back seat, right
Yeah.
down, cruising with your head, or you in the bullpen like this motherfucker don't get off the phone. Man, so
Nice.
it's important.
Yeah.
Just that pause, because man,
Reset.
Yeah.
I talk about what you're talking about is emotional intelligence. This is why I teach and talk so much about emotional intelligence. And so the 4 domains of emotional intelligence: emotional awareness, emotional management, social emotional awareness, and then relationship management. Right? Those are the 4 domains. And under those, it all deals with how either you respond to your feelings and emotions, and then the social emotional awareness is how you deal with like how you treat people with your emotional awareness, and then how you receive theirs. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, if emotional intelligence isn't something you're familiar with, do your research on it. They say people with high levels of emotional intelligence are far more successful and happier in life than people with high levels of EQ.
Right.
With
Right.
an IQ, high level IQ.
Yeah.
So
Right. No.
EQ is emotional intelligence, which they measure emotional quotient. But high levels of emotional intelligence people, they do things far more faster, and they're far more successful than people with high levels of IQ.
Fair.
Yeah, because you understand how to, you really, what it is you know how to work with self. You know how to work through the stories, the feelings, the imbalances. You know how to regulate yourself, all those different things. And that's what I mean. That you figured out how to. Hey, I can cry 1 minute if I need to. I can put my hand through a few walls, and
Straight up.
So that's a gift.
Well, we appreciate you, bro, man, for chiming in with us today, man. It was a great message today, man.
It's been a blessing.
Yes. Put out your social media handle. Tell them how they can reach you.
Yeah, at Arjuna _O'Neil. You can find me on IG. Website is arjunaoneil.com. You can find out more of the different tools and practices that we mentioned on emotional intelligence. I got them all on my page. If you want to purchase like my little ebooks, I got for communication, feelings, especially if you're a parent trying to figure out how to connect with your child, or you feel like your teen is in a whole other world. I got the tools and practices for you, and you just follow me on social media, and the things that we talk about here, I talk about regularly.
Sure. Y'all gotta understand, to be able to sit down and have a conversation with someone that is so abreast of the situations of today's world, past world, and this brother travels time. He's talking future shit too. Y'all just don't know it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all just don't know it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But when it hits you, 5-10 years from now, you're gonna be like, Brother O'Neil was talking some serious shit that day. We know he's talking serious shit now. We're gonna let y'all time travel back to the future with Marty McFly ass. Y'all really understand what he's talking about. Y'all gotta understand it, man. Because when it really comes down to it, your mental, emotional, your physical, your spiritual health is extremely important. But it starts with you, regardless of what you're going through. It always starts with you and where you're at. Hold yourself accountable for the things that you do, for the things that you say. Say what you mean and mean what you say.
Right.
Absolutely. Love that, bro.
Well, I appreciate both of y'all brothers, man. Y'all warrior soldiers and what y'all saying. what y'all continue to do in the world, how y'all show up, regardless of whatever happened on that field out there. And I appreciate seeing you with your sons and the basketball and on the courts and all. That was one of the things I missed.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to stick with it as long as these knees hold me up. I'm feeling them every day.
Y'all continue to enjoy y'all Sunday. Go get something to eat. Watch your favorite team win, lose. If you're a football fan, if you don't follow football, hey, it is what it is.
Hey, we got to circle back and do an episode on the Waffle House, though, because that's what that was our thing, man, for a minute.
Hey, we got to do that. We got to do that.
Look, I'm down.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna leave on this note. I ended up in some town in the scary ass part of Georgia in them sticks, and it was a Waffle House, and I went
because of that episode we talked about Waffle House.
But
and it was some of the best food you ever had.
Yeah, but at the same time, you talking about PTSD. This shit from a movie. Like, am I gonna make it out of here just to tell him I had some Waffle House? We gotta unpack the trauma that came with that. But I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, all Waffle Houses ain't safe.
No.
But the food is good.
Yeah, the food gonna be good for sure. Especially when your server and your cook barely got any teeth in their head.
Or they smoking that cigarette back there.
Yeah. Either way. You ain't never thought the waffles and Newports tasted so good until you had it. But anyway.
Waffle House, man.
But anyway, y'all continue to enjoy y'all Sunday, man. If you tune into this, whether you tune into 15 minutes increments, catch this whole episode, man.
Yeah, go back and watch this whole thing.
This whole episode.
And again.
And we gonna kick you in the head until you watch the whole thing until it's over with. That's all it is to it. Because what we had today, I learned, being 41 years old, I learned some things today.
Man, what?
And if you continue to learn, you'll always be alive. As soon as you feel like you don't have anything else to learn, to me, in my opinion, you're dead.
Yep. Listen, understand, and apply.
That's it.
Strength and patience.
Peace and blessings to everybody. Brother O'Neil, we appreciate you for jumping in today, man.
Likewise, man. Master your heart, master your life.
There it is. Y'all heard what he said. Y'all continue to enjoy y'all day. We'll see y'all next Sunday. I don't know what we're gonna talk about Sunday. We'll figure out something. Y'all, after this, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to come back after this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be having to be done.
We'll think of something.
Yeah, and it's getting cold outside, ladies. Respect your man. Respect your man the same way you did when it was warm. That's all I'm saying.
You liked it when it was one, like it when it's the other.
It's cold. It's cold out here.
Now go warm him up.
Right. Love and respect y'all. Strength and patience. Y'all continue to have blessings.
We'll see y'all.
I'll let y'all later.